Here's how to write the perfect message on LinkedIn and actually get people to respond in 2025. Right now, inboxes are more crowded than ever. They are flooded with sales messages, and there are even people saying that LinkedIn outreach is dead. However, I've perfected a perfect LinkedIn DM script that is booking me and hundreds of others over 10 calls every single week on LinkedIn with a 25% plus response rate. And the best part is, the framework I'm about to show you works for any niche, so you can copy it and start using it to book a ton of calls for your own business. Before I get into any of that, who am I and why should you listen to anything I'm saying? Well, I'm one of the founders of Prost, the fastest growing LinkedIn automation software. And every day, users are sending tens of thousands of messages, and we can see exactly what's working and what isn't. I've personally booked over 1,000 calls for myself and thousands of others for my clients, so I have a pretty good idea of what's working well right now. I'll first cover what not to do, then the things you need to be doing, my exact script, and then the framework that you can use for your own business. And obviously stick around to the end where I'll show you how to automate the entire process. First off, here's 4 things to categorically avoid. Number 1, disingenuous openers. If your message starts with, "Hope you're well," "Great to connect," "Hope you're having a great day," you need to scratch this immediately. It's fake, people read straight through it, it's just fluff, and really importantly, you only have about 5 to 10 words of preview on desktop or on mobile to capture their attention, and you've just wasted them saying, "I hope you're having a great day." The second thing to avoid is only talk about yourself. 99% of DMs on LinkedIn sound something like this. "Hey Lisa, we offer content, SEO, PPC. We have the highest quality, blah, 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 list of services." You're only talking about yourself. People don't care about your solution, they care about how it can help them. Listing out your services is a surefire way to get blocked. You are not an advert, you're trying to start a conversation. Third, do not pitch a call in the first message. We all see it every day. You get a DM from a random stranger you don't know, free for a 15-minute chat. "Do you have time for a quick call? Here's my calendar link, grab some time." This is never going to work. They don't know you from Adam. They have no reason to trust you because you haven't given them one. Now suddenly you're asking for their time. There is absolutely zero incentive for them to get on a call with you. So why would they? We say there's too much friction. They have to commit a lot to engage with you. You want to make it as easy as possible for them to just respond, therefore making it low friction. And the final thing to avoid is crazy long messages. Decision makers are scanning, not reading. You only have a split second to get their attention. Anything longer than 50 words is just getting ignored. Here's 4 super simple fixes to go from the 99% of people getting ignored to the 1% of people sending cold DMs to make thousands of dollars every single week. Firstly, cut the fluff. No "great to connect," no "hope you're well," get straight to it. 2, talk about them. Identify their pain points and establish a need before you start talking about how your solution can help them. 3, use soft calls to action. Ditch the "free for a 15-minute chat" and replace with "mind if I send over a resource on how X did Y?" or something simple like "is this relevant?" Make it easy for them to respond. Remember, we want it to be as low friction as possible. And finally, keep your messages short. Less than 50 words, straight to the point. Okay, so now you know what not to do and what to do instead. Here is my perfect script for 2025. Here's the template, and I'm going to show you why it's so effective after. Hey first name, crazy idea for getting company name, desirable outcome, 1 sec. And then immediately after, a voice note. Hope you don't mind the voice note. I thought it'd be a nice change from the other 87 messages you get today, and I know crazy is a pretty bold claim, but bear with me. Describe specific pain point, but have this helpful resource on how you can achieve desirable outcome. Let me know if you're curious and I'll send it over. And yeah, have a great day. Then we can wait for 3 days and just send them the link. You can say something like, "Thought I'd actually just go ahead and send the resource I mentioned," and then the link. Think you'll find the specific section interesting. If you wanted to, you could then follow up again after a few days and just ask if they got value from the resource or if they already have that specific pain point covered. Before I show you what this actually looks like in action, let's just zoom out a second and talk about why this is so killer. First of all, it's really quick. The message is only 15 to 20 words long, so it's very easy to digest. Secondly, having the word crazy as the 3rd word means that regardless of what device they're looking on, they're gonna see this in the preview. So decision makers constantly get messages, they all sound the same, "great to connect, hope you're well." but when they actually see crazy idea in the preview, it piques their curiosity. I mean, come on, who doesn't want to listen to a crazy idea? And lastly, this works because it's so personalized. Not only do we reference their business name, which is what LinkedIn's all about, but we actually take it one step further. We figure out what their desirable outcome is. You'll see how this works in a second, but any automation tool can reference the first name and the company name, but when you actually figure out what they want, it shows you've really done your homework. And until 2025, there was no automation tool which actually allowed you to do this, so it shows the extra care. And we'll come on to how you actually now can automate this a little later on. Oh, and also no one is sending voice notes right now, so they're a great way to stand out and build trust, and that's why they're performing 3 times better than regular messages. So that's the template and why it works so well. Let's actually see what this looks like in action. So once I have my list of ideal prospects, I would then go through one by one. Let's take Fahim, for example. I would open up his profile, maybe go like a recent post, and then send a connection request. Once he accepts, I would then scan his profile, looking at his headline, about section, maybe even then go look at the company description, all to figure out who he targets. Okay, so I can see that he targets music service businesses, so I can send him a message that says something like, "Hey Fahim, crazy idea for getting strike first in front of more music service providers. 1 second. Then I would go on my phone because you can't do voice notes on desktop, and I would say something like, "Hope you don't mind the voice note. Thought it'd be a nice change from the 87 messages you get today, and I know crazy is a pretty bold claim, but bear with me." Outreach is obviously getting a little more tricky these days, especially on LinkedIn, but I have this full walkthrough video on how you can book around 10 calls a week with your ICP using AI and voice notes just like this one. Let me know if you're curious and I'll send it over, and yeah, have a great day. So that's what it would sound like for Fahim, but it could also sound like, "Hey Lisa, crazy idea for how you can automate your whole onboarding process at Passion Fruit." Or, "Hey Jordan, crazy idea for getting RP Digital in front of more creative studios." That is a simple but hugely powerful script that is going to flood your inbox with replies. But it's a bit of a process. I'm scrolling through lists, I'm sending connection requests, waiting for those people to accept. I'm scanning their profile to figure out who they target, then I'm sending them a personalized message, and then even recording a voice note. I don't have time for all of that. I'm trying to run a business here, and so are you. But don't worry, there's a solution. It's called Prosp. And I'm going to show you how you can use it to automate the entire process, including the personalized message and even the voice note for a list of 1,000 people in less than 5 minutes. First step is to copy the URL of your search, and obviously that works with Sales Navigator too. Okay, so once you've signed up to Prosp with the 14-day free trial, of course, you just paste the URL into a new campaign. That'll then extract every single person on that list. With them imported, you can automate the entire thing, and I mean the entire thing. Let's start by visiting their profile, and we can then like their most recent post. We can then shoot them a connection request, and with that request accepted, I can then send them a message. And this is where it gets really mind-blowing. So I've got my first name like you can have with any other tool, but what's more special is these AI prompts. You can see there's 2 of them in here. The first one is simple but significant. I'm going to take the company name and clean it to make it usable in conversation. If you use a regular automation tool, you'll end up saying things like limited or group or PLC at the end of the company name, and that is a huge red flag. It always shows the recipient that the message is automated. So now, instead of saying strike first marketing like it's listed on the LinkedIn profile, it's actually going to say strike first. Simple, but so important. Then our second AI prompt is a little more advanced. This one will establish who their ICP is. Just like we did manually earlier, you'll see that the AI is going to look at their headline, biography, and company overview to figure this out. There is no other tool on the market right now that can scan their profile, give that information to the AI to personalize the message. And that's why this works so well. By the way, both these prompts, the company name cleaner and the ICP finder, are available in the community library, so you can just plug them directly into your own workflows. After I send my personalized message, it's now time for the voice note. I can just record it in Prosp by clicking record audio. This is now getting sent right after the message, which is important for 3 reasons. First, it looks very realistic. It looks like I've just been sending them a message and then I thought, oh, I'm just going to record a quick voice note instead. Secondly, because of the nature of the first message, it makes them then want to listen to the voice note. And because it's so personalized, it means I don't then have to also personalize the voice note. And finally, once they listen to the voice note, they build way more trust with you than any text message because they can actually hear your voice, which is unique to you. And if you wanted to take it a step further, you could even use the voice cloning functionality to personalize the voice notes as well. For example, I can include the first name, the company name, and any of my AI prompts, and it will sound like me because it's based off a sample of my voice that I recorded earlier. Check out the link below to see what my one sounds like. It's absolutely crazy. As I mentioned earlier, after the voice note, you could then give it a few days, and then you could follow up with the actual resource. And suddenly you've gone from spending 2 hours a day mindlessly scrolling through LinkedIn profiles to a fully automated system with a personalized message and a voice note that will allow you to consistently deliver and therefore build a reliable pipeline whilst never forgetting to follow up and being able to track everything in a single dashboard. And you can implement this exact strategy today to start sending DMs on LinkedIn that actually get replies and book calls for your business. And of course, you can automate the entire process with Prosp. You can try all features free for 2 weeks at prosp.ai and jump into our Slack channel for more resources, our top performing scripts, and to hear from other users that are crushing it on LinkedIn right now. See you next time.